Okay. Hello. Afternoon to all of you. On behalf of Entrepreneurship Development Institute of India, Institute of Innovation Council, AICT, MHRD Innovation Cell, me Satya Ranjan Acharya, and
And I'm
uh,
Dr. Amit Kumar Divedi.
yeah, both are going to present a topic on idea, entrepreneurship opportunities, business model, and business plan. To initiate, we had a first such interaction where we talked about what is called entrepreneurs. So let's try to discuss what you understand by the term called entrepreneurs. So our agenda is we'll talk about idea, we'll talk about business idea, how we're going to evaluate ideas, what is opportunities and model, and we'll also try to discuss something on what is called business plan formats. Let's go for the first understand what is an idea. So we say a person who have an idea and dare to start an idea is called entrepreneur. So all of us are entrepreneurs in nature. We have an entrepreneurial nature with us, and we have so many different ideas. The issue is how we're going to initiate or convert that idea into a viable proposition. To understand what is an idea is actually, an idea is nothing but a solution to a problem. So what is the problem? I think in our daily life we can have so many different problems, and we try to solve those problems in different manners. The process at which we solve the problem, we can differentiate two broad types of entrepreneurship. One we call as the market driven, and one is called technology driven entrepreneurship. Market driven, where you understand the market need, try to find out the technology, how you're going to exploit it, and try to come out with a solution. I'll give some more examples, and there we'll talk about how this market driven entrepreneurship takes place. Today, I think most of these ideas will have a blend between market, traditional, and also innovative. But when we talk about a market driven, we try to identify a local market or a region. We try to understand what's the type of problem. And then in those business, we also try to use the technology, but the type of growth may be linear. What I mean by linear growth is that a business grows at a rate of 5%, 10%, 20%, 40%. So that's the rate of growth at which a business can grow. And we normally call them as a traditional or a market driven entrepreneurs. The other format at which we are all more interested right now that we call innovation driven. Here, we identify in technology and then try to understand what type of market and how we can explore the market. So the difference is, first, we will understand the market and try to fit the technology to that. The second, we identify technology and then try to exploit a market to it. So here, it's unknown demand with unknown technologies. In that case, the market is very broad. We are not solving a problem in a local area or a regional area. We're trying to solve a problem across the globe. Here, the innovation is fundamental. And I won't comment much about the ownership, but here we look into the growth, which is exponential. Exponential means it is growing at 10%, it's next growing at 30%, 60%, 100%, 200%. It's growing at a very fast rate. All of these examples of startups come under the innovation driven. But that's a broadly we talk about two different forms of entrepreneurs. Let me get some more examples and try to explain about this idea. Put the next one. Let's the next slide, please. Here, idea is a creative thinking, and ideas are going to inspire change. So you discuss about there is a problem, and every problem we try to solve it. We need to identify ourselves with the problem and then try to solve it. We'll discuss how we're going to identify the problem in terms of getting ourselves involved in our basic concepts, which Amit is going to discuss. Next. Every idea or every problem that you're talking about, the problem actually turns into an idea. Every problem would have a two different solutions. One is a technological solution, one is a social solution. Take me simple an example. Let's we have this COVID-19 problem. So the COVID-19 problem at which I think all of you must be knowing the pandemic, which is currently all of us are having issues right now, can be solved. One is a technological way of solving, one is a social way of solving. What is the technological way of solving? Yes, we'll come out with the different vaccines. We'll talk about the various medicines that is going to help us. So there is a technology at which we try to control it. We'll use mask, we'll use some other so a different type of gloves so that the virus is not going to come to. What's the social solution? we'll talk about that. Let's maintain a social distance. That if you're going outside, try to protect yourself. Don't try to touch each other. So every problem can have two different ways of solving, or it can be a combination of way of solving. And that's so we have the various formats of solutions. And business process can be started out with any possible solutions or a combination of solutions. Next, please. Let me give you an example how it is taking place. I'm saying the COVID-19 as an issue, and based on which we have created this slide. Let's talk about looking for problems. So there are a company called Jyoti CNC in Gujarat, and their professionals come to understand there is a problem in India that we don't have ventilators available, and the ventilators are not enough for all the if there is a potential more COVID-19 patients are there, then the ventilators are not available. So all in a sudden, they started looking into that how we can work in terms of creating a Indian-made ventilator. So they could identify a problem. They tried to find out a technology, and they started working and created a prototype. And very short period of time, they create this COVID-19 Dharman 1, which is a Indian-made ventilator. At a very less period of time, they find out a problem and try to come out with a solution. The other is that you may not have an idea, right? You just identify there is a problem, and the other way is that you can go and identify what the different technologies have available, which you can convert into a business idea. Here, I've taken an example like we have R&D labs, we have patent organizations. They also come out with various patented technologies, and they have various laboratory tested technologies are available. You can take those technologies and convert them into a business product. So you don't have your own R&D capacities, you don't have your own technologies available, but you can borrow the technology to solve that problem. So here I say that the idea is that you understand a problem, but here you may not have a direct technology available, but you can use the existing technology to solve that particular problem. One of our students currently come out with this particular mask, and this mask, they have designed this particular mask, but the product or the basic raw material which is required is supplied by Atira, which is Ahmedabad Textiles Industry Research Association, and they have a fabric which is a technical textile fabric which can use as a to cover as the mask. So they took that particular product, convert that into a mask, and start selling it now. So either you have R&D capabilities, understand a problem, convert that particular technology using a technology and solve it, or there are technologies are available, you can adopt this technology and can create a new business. Recently, National Research Development Corporation, NRDC, has compiled a booklet of various technologies which is available on the net, NRDC technology for COVID-19. You can take any of those technologies and start looking how we can convert them into a viable business. You may be at various parts of India. You take any of this technology and understand how we can convert this technology as a business process in our local area. So here I talked about what we call what ideas. Okay. Let's go for the next stage. Here's some very macro pictures how we look into ideas. Here I have given some facts and figure. You can find out similar facts and figure about us as a country. Let me take an example about race of life. The race of life says, on an average, for how many years we are going to live. These are very macro pictures I'm talking about. We can go to the very sector specific, which my colleague is going to discuss with you. The race of life says, when India got independence, an average life expectancy was around 37 years. Today, the average life expectancy in India has gone up to 66. It is all increasing. We are all going to live for a longer period of time. And similarly, if I'm going to look into the rest of smaller families, that the family size at the time of independence was around 5.96, that on an average 6 people are there in the family. Today, the number of people in my family has reduced to 3.5. This shows that the number of people are reducing and we are all going to live for a longer period. If I give these two different macro pictures to you, and I'm asking what the different type of ideas are going to come. So if you are all going to live for a longer period, yes, we need our body needs immunities against viruses, that type of pandemic. We have to increase our immunity. So we'll have a huge amount of opportunity, etc. Similarly, raising for small families, since we don't have anybody to support me in my family, I need to look into assisted technologies. I need technology which can help me walking, which can take me in terms of going out, looking for shopping. I need a lot many assisted technologies at this point of time. So this is the ways at which we look into ideas, which are the type of ideas which is going to come to the market over the next 3 years, 2 years, 4 years period. And if you can start working on those ideas right now and try to convert this idea into some viable format, we can initiate our entrepreneurial journey. Okay, next. Taking it further, I think Amit is going to discuss about the other opportunities.
Yeah, thank you, Professor Acharya. Yes. So, since the whole demography is changing, so the landscape is changing, lot of opportunities have come up. Lot of opportunities can be seen. And I'm going to talk in detail about various sectors where opportunities are probable, where youth can think about new enterprises. Illness and wellness, two are very, very important segments today, especially in the time when COVID is impacting almost the whole world. Many things related to illness and wellness are relevant. Healthcare, Ayurveda, yoga, and meditation. We have tried to identify how India can help, how Indian entrepreneurs can help the whole world using these particular sectors. In healthcare, we all know manufacturing is the key. If you can manufacture a lot of things for the healthcare industry, it will certainly impact, certainly provide a lot of good health to the people. Manufacturing, services delivery, hospitals, clinics, pathologies, and wellness centers. These are just broad ideas we are trying to portray here so that whoever is trying to develop a business model can think about this sector and these different types of activities. Ayurveda. We all know India gave Ayurveda to the whole world. Now, many companies have come up in the past. Many new ventures have started. Many new products we can see in the market. Ayurveda production is very, very much possible if we can think about the rural India, the non-urban India. Non-urban India has a lot of potential to produce Ayurveda and related products. Consulting is another big area where being here in India, we can help the whole world to use Ayurveda and have a healthy and happy life. Trading of Ayurveda products, manufacturing, branding itself has a great market. Yoga and meditation. We all are quite aware the benefits of yoga and meditation. And this has come up as an industry. People are taking, if you see the developed nations, they are taking yoga and meditation as priority in their lifestyle. And a lot of centers have come up across the globe. A lot of portals are there, a lot of channels are there, web pages are there, videos are there, even e-yoga counseling, e-yoga consulting is there. And people are taking these areas as a new business opportunities because after COVID-19, a lot of focus will be there on health and wellness. And we are trying to showcase here when student or anybody, any entrepreneurship aspirant is trying to become an entrepreneur, they need to think about these sectors. Another big opportunity is skill development. We all are sitting in our homes. Past about 50 days, we all are at our homes and we are using a lot of gadgets around us. And based on using those gadgets, we are learning a lot, developing a lot of skills. Skill development, which Government of India has started, it is going so well. Across the globe, it is so popular. Unless you have skilled workforce, you cannot run your industry. And when you have a case of migrant laborers, so India is facing this migrant labor problem. So how to start ventures after this COVID-19 lockdown? In that sense, skill development gets very important. Startups, entrepreneurs can come up to develop skills among the laborers, among the people of unorganized sector, among the farmers, homemakers, ITI and polytechnics, so that people can acquire good skills. And once the economy is open, people can join the firms and can contribute in big manner. So this sector is a big opportunity for each and every person who's trying to provide some kind of guidance, some kind of consulting. E-learning and MOOCs. AICT itself has a lot of e-learning programs. Now, the whole canvas is open. Even schools are ready. Even professional institutions are ready. So in that domain, a lot of opportunities have come up. Schools need MOOCs and e-learning. Professionals need higher education is already using. Now they need in big manner. Teachers training needs e-learning and MOOCs. Trainers, consultants, means the whole canvas is there for e-learning and books. People can use it. So this provides a big business opportunity for all those who are thinking of education sector and learning segment. Executive education, though it was already there, but now since everybody is at the home and people will not travel a lot in coming year as well, seeing the situation. In that sense, they would need something on their desktop, on their laptop, on their iPad. In that sense, if you can provide some customized education programs, certainly everybody would be benefited with that. So entrepreneurs, managerial staff, everybody is waiting for some kind of unique programs, though nowadays people are offering like anything, but any good customized program would do good in this situation. The next big sector is IT, R&D, and database security. Of course, IT has been our focus, and we have contributed a lot from India in this sector. Now, seeing the situation, certainly this sector gets a lot of importance because now industry needs good softwares, good packages, good ERPs, MIS, taxation and accounting packages, and so many other packages for SMEs, small segment, big segment, and large segment. This industry is again getting a lot of momentum, and those who are thinking of providing softwares, developing softwares, providing consultancy, everything will get a very hot seat. Next important thing is health-related research and development. Certainly, Dr. Satya Acharya was talking about R&D. Yes, R&D is always important. It generates a lot of knowledge, which is going to give you a lot of returns in future years. One virus has made all this situation. Think about the future viruses which are going to come. Virus, bacteria-related R&D is the very important area where people will be thinking about because it simply damages the whole humanity. So this sector needs a lot of attention. Food habits, we all need to know how to take food, what food is healthy for us. This sector itself gives a lot of opportunity to people. Data informatics, if I can know what is my health data, if I can know where are the problems in my health data, I can improve that with the help of my doctor. Certainly, these kind of things would come in future where everybody would make their own profiles, on profile of health data, and through their data, I can take help of anybody. So this is another sector. Management and security, since everything is available on e-platforms, whatever you do, whatever you contribute, everything is there. Now, security gets very important here. Since everything is available on e-platform, security is also equally important. So people need to think about how they can provide solutions in the field of security and data management. Forensic security softwares, few softwares are already there, but still a lot of things to be done because now the size is so big. The size of this sector is so big, and good startups, good entrepreneurs need to come to solve the problems. The other important segment is e-commerce, social media, and video conferencing. E-commerce, certainly now I can see at my home, I'm booking now the grocery and I'm getting my grocery. I'm booking my vegetables, I'm getting my vegetables and fruits. In that sense, seeing the situation, now e-platforms are very important for the society, and they will get a lot of importance as well. Online food delivery was there, but it was simply catering a very small market of this country. But the country is so big, requirements are so big, many people need to come there to contribute in that section. Online vegetable delivery, e-kirana, e-medicine, online industrial goods, e-transport, all these things are equally important now because the business model is going to change a lot after this situation. Social media and networking. Now we all have children, old age people in our homes. We have certain social media platforms to entertain people, but many new segments are there, and we need to think about those segments as well. E-library for children, for elders, yoga and meditation communities, again using web platforms. These all would be the requirements for the future. Video conferencing, of course, we are using a lot of platforms, but many platforms would be needed based on the requirements. People will be using those platforms to run the offices, to run the classes, to run the trainings, and so on.
So once we have ideas, so we discussed, so what we have discussed till this point of time, we started up talking about ideas. And then we see is what the different ideas are based on those opportunities and what the different opportunities are there. The next step is to convert your idea into a business idea. So we have discussed there are so many ideas. I think you can choose any ideas. We can faculty, we can student. You can obviously explore so many different ideas. And then I talked about what the technological ideas are there, and we give a gamut of ideas before you. So what is going to do the next step? Next step is to convert this idea into a business idea. So what I mean by business idea is that where the customer is ready to pay a price for the idea that you're talking about. So here we try to validate our own ideas. How are you going to validate ideas? We have to go for various processes, like what we called as a prototyping. We converted ideas into some format for the prototype. We can participate in various hackathons, events where we have been using the similar thing. And then subsequently, once this process or the prototype is ready, we can go and pitch our ideas before the rest of the people. A very common threat, a common perception is that if I'm going to talk to my idea to 5 people or 10 people, somebody may be going to copy my ideas. Don't bother about that somebody is going to copy your idea. You cannot do just copying it. He may copy it down, but don't bother about the copying. More and more people will start talking about your ideas. You'll get various amounts of comments which can help you refine your ideas as per the customer requirement. If the customer is not ready to accept your idea is an idea, it is not a business idea. And if this business idea is validated, I think we'll discuss about some of the scales to validate business ideas. We'll look into what we call as a business venture, which is the establishment of business. But this idea needs to be verified or idea needs to be analyzed based on certain scale to understand whether a customer is going to pay me a price or is going to ready to accept my solution as a viable solution. Let's go for the next one. So last year, I've been to, along with the AICT, we have done various boot camps across India, around 14 such boot camps across India, where we started talking to the student that what's the type of ideas you have. I'm just showing a 1-minute video about one such idea. What is required for you to create such a video about your ideas at this point of time? This is the two of the students from my engineering college where they talked about this idea and convert this idea into a 1-minute video. And here we are required that whenever you have such an idea, please convert them into such videos and start talking to people that this is an idea I feel. Let me just go to the video, please. Can I go to the,
My name is Fazil and I'm Yash Sharma. And
go to the full screen.
we are students of IIT.
My name is Haq Farazul.
And I'm Yash Sharma and we are students of IIT Kharagpur.
An average farmer has to deal with irregular rain cycles. So farming in some seasons is not even possible. The farmer also spends a huge deal of time cutting the weeds of the field.
Our invention is a device that does irrigation, weed control and localized pesticide delivery. Our device is 2 polymeric sheets sealed together which can be rolled off in the field. The farmer can sow the seeds in any required pattern. It has embedded water channels which facilitate deep root irrigation. The device will water the plants directly at the roots and thus we need very less water.
We will be able to reduce the weeds as they cannot germinate without sunlight. The product also has embedded channels for localized pesticide delivery to each plant. This will reduce the amount of pesticide used and thus reduce the pollution of water and soil. Thank you.
Perfect. So we create such ideas, present such ideas in various events like boot camps, the way we organized last year. This year also will come out with a similar version when you can have your ideas, convert them into this particular format, and then start presenting it for the others. Okay. And go to the next one, please. So when you have an idea, are you going to analyze? So this is the 5 questions that I feel that all of you should understand. Very simple. What customer problem you can solve? What important customer problem you can solve? So you understand that here is a problem. They find out that the farmer is having an issue. How they're trying to solve it? How they're going to do it? They have created the particular tool, this particular seat, and through which they are trying to help the farmer. How many customers are there? They are willing to buy from you. Here is the numbers. So is a problem for 4 customers, 10 customers, or is a problem for a huge chunk of people? And here we need to understand how many people are there ready to buy from you. There are 10 customers, 20 customers, 40 customers. What is the price at which they are going to buy from you? Why you can only provide the solutions? It's a very interesting question, that the problem that you're trying to solve, and you as an individual need to have a connection. And this connection can be established by working on that problem to the depth, to understand the problem to the depth, why such problem is there, understand, empathize the customers with the problem, and then you can relate to this particular problem. And with your background knowledge, with the amount of friends and relatives, or the network that you have, you can certainly try to provide the solutions. And the 5th question is how then you can defend against others. If somebody is going to copying it down, I think sometimes, Rax, I was talking about copying. Yes, when you have an idea, the way I have shown the video, somebody can certainly say that I can try it down. Yes, you can also try it out. But in that case, at some point of time, if the ideas are original, it can be patented. Otherwise, we can try to defend our ideas by creating various value propositions. I think Amit is going to talk some about the value proposition and how we try to create. And thus, we discussed till this point of time what is called ideas and opportunities. And then we say that ideas need to be converted into a business ideas and business model. Amit is going to discuss about what is called business model and how we can take it forward.
Yeah, so based on the idea and opportunity, we are going to discuss about how one can develop a business model, which is very, very important before launching any enterprise, whether it's a small or big. You need to know about these 9 different boxes, which is also known as business model canvas. Very, very simple way to do that. It is a product of Strategizer, and very popular in teaching business model canvas. Now we can see to the extreme right, there is a box of customer segment. We need to know first about who is my customer. Without knowing the customer, I cannot develop my own business model. That is the first priority of any, as Dr. Satya Acharya was talking about. Am I going to solve a problem? Means who is the person who is facing the problem? I should know that. Without knowing that, I cannot develop a business model. So who is my customer? Many a times it's individual, sometimes it is corporations, sometimes it is institutions, government. It can be anybody, but I should be knowing for whom I'm going to work. Who is my audience? It may be a child, it may be elderly person, whoever he or she would be, but I should be knowing that. So the first thing is we have to identify the customer segment of my whole business model. Second thing is value proposition. What I'm going to offer. What I'm going to offer. Why the person, or why the institution, or why the government, or why my customer would take my product or my services. That I should be very, very much clear even before going to start a venture. I should be knowing that why people will prefer my product and will not take others' product or services. For that, I need to know about the value proposition in detail. For the value proposition, I have a different canvas which I will discuss after this, once I complete this business model canvas. Once you have identified the value proposition of your business, you need to know how you will deliver the value proposition to the customer. In that sense, you should be knowing about the channels. Is how the channel would help you to deliver the product or service to the customer. Many times it is website, like if I'm taking example of aggregators today, the channel is they're using a platform, they're using one app. Through that app, they're providing the services to the customer. So in my case, what is the channel? I should be knowing that. After the channel, I should be focusing on the customer relationship. How would I maintain the relationship with my customer? If I'm not getting the customers repeat, it means there is some problem in my business model. It means the relationship is very, very important to run the business venture in a long term. Now, what would be the options to retain the customer? What proposals what propositions I should be offering to my customer so that he will be with me for a longer period of time, that I have to identify. Means it is not very easy to do a business without knowing how to retain the customer. You can sell a product or service once, but if you are not retaining the customer, you cannot go for a longer period of time. And for that, relationship matters a lot. Companies are putting a lot many things here to retain the customers. That also one has to identify. The next very important thing is who are the partners? Means extreme left you can see there is a key partner section. Who would be my partners to run my business? Many times it is my colleague, he may be my classmate, maybe my banker, maybe my partner, maybe my colleague in the workplace, or the entrepreneur who is a partner in my business. They all can be partner for the business. So I need to know who all are my partners. Are they agree to do work with me or not? If they are agreeable in the business model, certainly they would be your right partners, because in that sense, they need to be a losses, they need to enjoy the profit together. So for that, very categorically, one has to identify the list of partners who would be helping him or her in the business. Next very important thing is key activities. How I'm going to run my business. Am I going to produce? Am I going to aggregate? Or I'm going to take and brand the product produced by somebody else? That should be very, very much clear in the beginning itself. If I'm going to produce, I need plant and machinery, I need laborers, I need to set up a factory, all those things would be needed. If I'm going to take simply a product produced by somebody else and I'm going to brand it, I don't need all those factory things, I don't need laborers, but I need people who can brand, who can promote the product in the market. If I'm going to outsource, I need to simply take and assemble the product at my factory and I can sell it. Like we all know, all car companies are there, they're not manufacturing the tires. They're simply taking the tires from somebody else, they are using it in their products. Like we all know, in laptops, many machines are being manufactured by somebody else, but you are simply assembling it. So in that sense, the company should know in advance, the entrepreneur should know in advance how he is going to run the activities. Because based on the activities, your resources will be defined. If I'm going to have a factory, my resources would be plant and machinery, land, building, many things would be needed. But if I'm going for simply a branding, I don't need those resources. So my key activities would help me defining my resources, which is again equally important before launching any venture, because these things would be required special sections in your business plan, which Dr. Satya is going to talk about. So you need to know what kind of activities you will be performing and what kind of resources you would need to run the venture. Based on these things, you need to know about the cost of your product. In that sense, you should be knowing perfectly well in advance what are the variable cost and what are the fixed cost. Variable cost, we all know, it changes based on the production. If you increase the production, it will increase. If you decrease the production, it will decrease. But there are certain fixed costs which would be there till a relevant range. You have to have the machinery, you have to have the land, you have to have the software. Those things are fixed costs. Whether you run them, whether you produce or not, you have to incur those expenses. In that sense, the entrepreneur should know the cost structure, the unit cost of the product. Now, the very, very important thing is revenue streams. How you will get the money, from which sources you are going to get the revenue. Now I'll give one example here. If I'm doing something for the government, I'm supplying a machinery in the society, or I'm electrifying the lights in the society. My benefits are going to be with the societies, the people who live in those society. But my money is going to come from the municipal corporation. So maybe revenue streams are not always coming from the end user. Many times it may come from other sources as well. So here, entrepreneurs should know for whom they are working and how they are going to get the revenue, and based on that, they can develop the whole business model, and they can see whether the model is perfect, whether the model is profit making, whether the model is really viable in their case or not. Now, I'll go to the next part, which I just left, the value proposition. Value proposition has two very, very important segments. Very, very important segments which are relevant for the entrepreneurs. They should know about these two segments in detail. One is the customer, other is your product. The circle one is the customer, and the other one is the product which you are offering to the customer. Now, what are the important things here? Anyway, the product and service should be there to please the customer. Means a customer will come to you only if you have a product or service. That is a bare minimum requirement. You have to have that so that you can run the business. Now, after these two things, there are four different things which are very, very important, very, very crucial for any business person. See, when you sell something, you get the revenue. But if you want a repeat customer, if you want the customer will come again and again, and you will have a big customer base, you need to think about the customer profile in detail. Now, customer is not always happy with the bare minimum requirement. We all know, we all are customers as well. We know we need many more things than the product or the service. We have certain pains. Like I can give here one example. I want to have very good food of XYZ restaurant, but my problem is I cannot go beyond the office because I have certain works to be completed in the office hours. I cannot leave my office, but I want to take the food of XYZ restaurant during the office hours in my lunch. My pain is I don't have time. My pain is I don't have cushion to leave the office. Which product, which company can solve my problem certainly would be my preference. Now here, see, companies have come up, ventures have come up who identified these pains very systematically. And they learned that the person has the money, the person has the purchasing power to pay, but he has a problem. The problem is the time. He's not having enough time to leave the office, come and sit at the restaurant, book the order, wait for the order, have the lunch, and go back and again join the firm. It's not possible. What they did for that, they simply developed one app. They linked their app with the restaurant. Now, as a customer, I can book my food. The person who is working for that particular enterprise, the aggregator, would deliver my food. I will pay to him through online, and my pain has been relieved. Means I am more than happy. Being in the office, I enjoyed the food that I wanted, basically. So customer pains have been relieved systematically without adding any cost by the company. Now think about this. If there is a company like this, certainly people would go with that company, because that is the company is simply understanding the problem of the customer and they try to solve the problems of the customer. Now, other thing is gains. I always would like to have gains. Though I'm paying, though I'm the person who's paying to the company, but if you give me some gains, I would be more than happy. In that sense, what companies can do, what companies are doing, they're creating some gains. They're creating certain things in the proposition itself, in the value proposition itself, so that the customer feels that he is gained. Now, I'll take here example of other aggregators which are delivering food, delivering grocery, delivering medicines. Now here, I have a power. The company has given me a power. As a customer, I have a power. I can give if the services are not good, I can return it. I can claim for my refund. I can give a bad feedback if the behavior was not good, if the delivery was not on time. So I have a lot of power. And this power is really, I think that I'm gained out of it. Other than that, lot of schemes, lot of offers they are giving, that is additional. But the very, very important thing is I have a power to select, to choose, to reject, to refund, all these things. That power is very, very important. And these companies have created these things in the gain creator. So if you see the bundle of the value proposition, it is not the bare minimum product, but it is beyond that. it is the pain reliever, it is the gain creator. And putting all three, it is the value proposition. So companies, those who are trying to please the customers, to have a very good customer base, very large customer base, certainly they need to think about the value proposition. And those who are planning for venture, they should seriously think about how they can create a value in the product so that people can come up and can repeat their orders. Now I will go with the next slide, which is precisely about the customer only. Now this is this is the end point. Till this point, the entrepreneur should go and think about. If they are really serious about the venture, they should go till this point. Now this is your customer. The slide which is there. This is the customer. Now we need to think about what who is the customer. As Dr. Satya already mentioned about, who are we empathizing with? I should know the problems of my customer. Without knowing that, I cannot solve his problems. And entrepreneurship is all about solving a problem. Entrepreneurship is all about giving the idea to solve the problem. I should know in detail about my customer. Until unless I know about my customer, I cannot provide a solution. So the first and very important thing is who we are empathizing with. I should know about my customer in detail. What do they need to do? What exactly, how differently, and what things they want? Why you are thinking that he's a customer? That you should be clearly identifying when you are developing a business model. What your customer sees, what he sees, that is very important. You should be knowing as a service provider that what he sees and what he sees. Your customer will not come in front of you to say something. He will not come. He won't come and straightforward will share something with you, but he will do something, and that is where you need to keep your eyes what they do. If you don't know what they are seeing, what they are saying, you should see what they are doing. And you should be very much prompt. What do they hear? Through which sources they are seeing the advertisement? They are hearing from people. They are taking feedbacks. Means you should be in and around with your customer. And if you know about your customer in detail, certainly you can identify how they feel, whether they are happy with the product that you are offering, whether their problems have been solved with the product you are offering, whether they feel they are gained out of the solution that you have provided. And if you do all these things, certainly your customer will not leave you and will be with you.
Great. I think what you've discussed, so to summarize, we started up talking about what is called an idea. Idea is solving a problem. From ideas, we try to convert them into business idea. So what we say is the business idea where you convert an idea into a form where customer is ready to pay a price. So why a customer is going to pay a price? Customer is going to pay a price if you are relieving his pain and trying to provide him some gain. And that we call as a business model. And once you have a business model, and the process I've also told you that you try to create a pitch about your ideas, that how we can convert your ideas into 1 minute. So faculties, mentors, others can help you. At any point of time, if you have an ideas, try to move this whole process, try to get inside the issues why the customer is going to buy it from you. Let me give you a very simple example right now. We are all talking about that the virus is there, or we cannot walk in the road because there is social distancing to be maintained. So can you think about various ideas at this point of time? How we can maintain the social distancing while walking on the road? How we can protect ourselves from the virus? Many our security staffs are all are standing in the on the gates of various airports. Will be standing in the airports or stations and other places where they'll be in very constant touch with the people, where they can there is a probability that they can be infected with this thing. So they are right now wearing a type of garment, and the garment is completely covering their body from head to toes. But you understand, in India, where we are all living in the temperature range of 40 to 45 degrees centigrade, with such a heat, how somebody can wear such a garment? Can you come out with an idea that how we can have a particular type of a garment which will be very normal that we are wearing, and still it can protect us
from the effective virus. These are all some blunt ideas I'm talking about. You as an individual, as a student, as a faculty, you can take any problem that is in the local area and then try to understand how we can convert that idea into a business idea, how we can empathize with the customer, what is his problem and where for this problem, what is the solution we can provide, and for the solution, he can provide us some amount of, he's going to pay us something back in terms of money, and so that my business model can operate. So this is the whole format we have discussed. And the initiation stage, I told you, it can be from two different ways. Either you understand there's a market, there is a requirement, and use the technology to solve it, or you develop a technology and then develop a market for it, at which ideas can operate at this point of time. Hope you understand all this point. We'll go to the next stage, what is called business plan. Here, what I'll try to discuss, what the main component of a business plan. This is a written document, which is at length. You need to write it down. More you write yourself over the business plan, more concrete ideas you will have in terms of solving that particular problem. You can have so many different dimensions at which you'll be working. The basic need of writing this business plan is to help people understand what the different components that to understand that you need to communicate this business plan to the right segment of people who will be interested in your business plan. Your own customers will be the people who are going to investors, who are going to invest in your ideas. You need to talk to your friends, families, others who are going to ready to invest. They need to understand what is the type of plan that you are having at this point of time. You need to convince somebody to work with you. The person could be your friend, the person could be the future employees. You need to understand what is the type of plans or ideas you have. You need to convince government officials or other group of people. For all those necessary segments of people, you need to design or draft a business plan. So what are the different components of a business plan? The first component of a business plan, we start with what is called as an executive summary. So I think the business plan, so that is in the end, every startup is different, but the beginning, they're all the same. That at the initial stage, we are all same, but how you try to implement business plan, it's all makes the whole difference. Okay, next person. So we'll have the 5-6 basic component: executive summary, the company is that overview, what is the type of structure of my company, what's an environment, what my marketing and sales strategy, how I'm going to implement this idea, that is called the operational strategy. So all the 5 questions I discussed with you is the similar component I'm talking about. What customer problem I'm trying to solve, how I'm going to do it, how many customers are ready to buy from me. Those are my marketing and sales strategy. How I'm going to do it is my operational strategy. How I'm trying to defend is my strategy part, or my financial plan. I'm going to discuss it out. Financial plan talks about my cost of the project and means of it. We talk about a market opportunity, examine the market that you try to compete, explain that your customers will be, describe the products and services that your company will provide, who will be your competitors. The 5 basic questions I asked, this is a detailed version of that. And here in detail, we talked about size and profitability of your company. Amit talked about unit cost. I think we need to have some background about cost and finance. I think we'll again come back and work with some specific ideas. If you have some of your ideas, you can send it to us and we can convert that idea into a business plan, and component wise we can discuss. Here I'm giving an insight into what the different components will be, and to calculate the financials parameters, we need bit of an expertise or bit of understanding. Somebody from a finance or an accounts background can certainly help you to design this one. Next please. So executive summary, which is at the beginning, which is something like a precise thing we want to talk about. This is the similar 60-second pitch which I've shown you as a video. In 60 seconds, or somebody is going to read a paragraph, he can understand what we're talking about. What's your plan? I'm going to create, what is the type of profit? So it is not an introduction. It is a shorter version of the whole plan. If I'm just going to read that paragraph, I understand what customer problem you're solving, how you're going to do it, and what is the financial position, so how much amount of money the business idea can create over a period of time. Okay. So next is, we'll start talking about the company overview. If you are trying to create an organization, what is the type of structure of organization? Is it a partnership firm? It's a LLP. I think we'll discuss about the structure of organization, but mostly the company overview, that what is the type of thing. Your 4 friends combined together, your 4 friends with the faculty combined together, you and your family members combined together, who is going to create the company. So we'll have some background about the company, what the mission, what you try to do over a period of time. You have your visions and goals, what type of value propositions you are carrying as a company that you are trying to write down, and what is the type of people. So we have 4 people, 4 friends. I think you must have seen that video. 2 friends are talking about that we are engineers and we are trying to do it. So what are the people who are going to lead the company? Here we'll talk about the company overview. Okay, next. So beyond the company overview, we talk about the market environment. We discussed the similar thing in the business model also. Here is a different form of presentation, but at that I'm talking about a market structure. What the market trend? Who will be competitors, and what are the different potential opportunities and threats that you might be having at a point of time? What is the type of cost, whether this is a variable cost or this is a fixed cost? If the trend is the customer is going to use it as a one time or as a repetitive. So these are all different parameters we need to discuss it out. I've given a format. You can go through it, and we can certainly take some of your queries at a point of time. So broadly, how competitive is the market that you talk about? Then we talk about the marketing and sales strategy. What is the type of product? What is the follow-on product? So the first time I'll offer this X variation. From X, I'll go to the X2 or X3. So the way the phone models come to the picture, what's the follow-on products we're talking about? What the different intellectual property I'm having this point of time? What depth of market research you try to have done to understand this whole thing? How you try to create a brand? How you going to distribute your product? How you going to price it? What is the type of benefit you're going to give to customers so that they're going to buy it down? So these are some of the strategies that you have to write it down. So you have to discuss at length that this is the basic way I'm going to operate. Let me take a very simple example. Let's say tomorrow I want to open, so there's an operation related things to manufacturing or outsourcing person. Let's talk about a simple example, like I want to open a restaurant at a point of time. So if I'm going to open a restaurant, so what is the type of structures of company I'm talking about? Beyond that, how I'm going to, who will be my customers? What are the type of cuisines they're looking into? How many similar type of restaurants are nearby? How much money they're going to pay me? If tomorrow I'm going to open, I'm going to attract. What's the type of why they're going to come to my restaurant at this point of time? So these are all my marketing related things. Then we'll talk about the operations. What is the type of facilities? Am I going to create the food for myself, or I'm going to outsource for somebody created? Who are the people who are going to offer it? And this type of operation means how this product will be created or the service will be created, which will be given to the customer. So that we call about the operations. Next, we'll talk about beyond operations. We'll talk about the financial plan. So financial plan mostly will talk about income sources. I think Amit talked about that. What are the different sources of my income? So if I'm selling my product, how I'm going to get the money? So we need to create a plan that how many units of products and services I'll be selling in the first month, second month, third month. You need to have a plan for next 8 to 12 months or 24 months. On every month, how much amount of income can be generated by sales of my product or services? And if these sales are going to take place over a period of time, what are my expenses? So first is my revenue or the sources from where I'm going to get the money. Then what are the different potential expenses? It can be expenses in terms of raw material, expenses in terms of your salary or some amount that you're going to pay. You may have to pay some amount of interest. So if you analyze what's the total amount of profit that a business or a particular idea can provide you over the next certain period of time. We can also talk about what is called cash burns or amount of cash required at this point of time. So first, second, third, fourth month, what's the amount of cash required so that I can continue this operation. In terms of balance sheet, I'll give a very brief idea. Every business that you will have will start with something called balance sheet. The balance sheet will have two sides. One side we call assets, other we call liabilities. Assets are what that is required to create this business that we call as a cost of a business, and the liabilities that the sources from where you're going to get the money that we call as the liabilities. So what is assets? So if tomorrow I want to open a restaurant, the example I was talking to you, I may have to have a piece of land. It may be required, may not be required. I may have to have a building. I may have to have some amount of furniture, fixture. So we call those things are my fixed assets. So to start this operation, I need this type of fixed asset. And the other asset I may require is called as the current assets. So at the initial stage of business, the current assets are like your cash that you may be requiring to pay for your vendors, suppliers of raw material. So how much amount of cash you require to initiate my business, if I can combine it together, that broadly we call as the asset. if whatever the total of asset side, it may come to, let's say, 1,000 rupees or something, how I'm going to source that money from various sources that we call as the liability. So combining asset and liability, we create a business plan. So that's all from our side. So what we have discussed today is that what is called an idea, how I convert an idea into a business idea, what are the different, what is called as the business model, and from business model, how we can talk about business plan. We have discussed a bit about the business plans. You may have a lot of many queries at this point of time. All your queries you have some specific ideas will help you how you can convert your ideas to business ideas, to business model, to business plan. So that's all from our side. Take care, come out with various ideas so that we can solve the problem that the country is facing. Thanks from my side.
So just one sentence from my side. This is the right opportunity. This is a very great time when the whole world is starting from zero. Everybody has the same situation across the globe. Now, at this juncture, if our Indian youth, if our Indian startups are taking the opportunities to do something for the whole globe, this is the very right time. And especially, there are many sectors which are really very, very much favorable for us, seeing the demographic dividends of our country. So, as Dr. Satya Acharya mentioned, opportunities are there, youth is there, aspiration is there, motivation is there, and then the only thing is action, which is very, very much needed. We just wanted to share with you how opportunity, how idea can be converted into opportunity, converted into business model, and later on business plan. Certainly, after the business plan, you have to fly and you have to achieve high highs so that the country can take most of the benefits from your knowledge and intellect. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.